Hey everyone! So one of my least favorite things of gardening is weeding. I hate weeding, but I found this tool that makes it it's not easy. Weeding is going to be hard, but this really helps. It's kind of like a hoe, but it's not really sharp, but it runs through and it'll actually pull the weeds up and soften the soil and things like that. So it's something that I found in my garden that really makes a huge difference in how easy it is to weed, even though it's one of my least favorite things to do. And I've thought this year about doing mulch. I may not, I don't know. But if I weed now and I pull out a lot of the roots and a lot of the weeds, it really cuts down on the weeds for the rest of the summer. So it's something that I try to do. I don't like doing it very much, but I try to get it done every year. At the beginning, I wait until everything has started growing good so that I don't accidentally like pull out my carrots or something like that. So everything needs to be growing before I weed. But then I try to weed the whole garden one time really thoroughly. And then sometimes the potatoes, I don't even weed the potatoes again. Some of this other stuff I'll weed again throughout the summer, but the potatoes kind of get big enough that they drown everything else out anyway. So anyway, this is one of my favorite tools. So one of the things I always do when I weed is I pull out, especially the first time I weed, I pull out all the weeds and as much of the roots as I can. Somebody asked me why I don't just leave it in the garden, kind of as a mulch, and I've always had it just re-root. So I never leave the roots or the weeds or anything in my garden. I always go through and pull them out so that they don't re-root and regrow. So this year we decided to install a fence. We've had problems with rabbits getting into our garden and eating my peas, and it's really annoying when I spend a lot of time tending them. So we put up a fence. This fence is not tall enough to keep a moose out, but it is good enough to keep the rabbits out. And we installed a 1/4-inch hardware cloth on the bottom. It's a 3-foot tall hardware cloth, and hopefully that will work. I'll let you know how that works by the end of the summer. Hey everyone, so today I am weeding carrots. Carrots is the one thing that I actually take a little bit of extra time on because the weeds and the carrots look very similar, but if you don't pull the weeds out, the carrots kind of they don't really grow very well. And once you get the weeds out, oh my goodness, you can see, you can just watch them grow every day. It's amazing how much of a difference just that little bit of light, the little bit of light assists in the growing of these carrots. So today I'm weeding. The bugs are like horrible out here. I've got bug spray on, but the little flies, the little no-see flies, they do not care about bug spray. So I am out here weeding with my little head net on. And I don't know if you can even see the bugs. They're crawling all over the head net. It drives me crazy. But anyway, let me just show you what I got here. Hold on. So the carrots are just now coming up. They're little tiny still. And these are the weeds that grow around the carrots. They look a lot like the carrots. And so it's really hard because these have these little leaves. Anyway, it's really hard to see. So it takes a lot of, you just got to sit here and you just got to do it. Again, I told you a little bit ago, I hate weeding. But this is actually one of the things I don't mind doing because of the difference it makes in the carrots and how fast they grow. So I have this row a little bit left. I've done back there. And then I also have this row of carrots to do. And then I need to weed my beets and I need to weed my onions and things like that. A little bit, the spinach and lettuce over there needs to be weeded. But anyway, so today I am weeding, but today it's the carrots. So All right, that row of carrots is all weeded. In a few days, they will be so much bigger than they are today. It'll be cool to watch. Now we gotta just do the next row. All right, so part of the garden tour, I just wanted to show you, I haven't weeded the radishes yet. I've got these broccoli weeded, the peas are weeded, but the radishes aren't weeded, but radishes are so fast growing that we already have a crop. This has been like, I don't know, it's been a month, I guess, since we planted, maybe a little bit less. Anyway, there's a bunch of radishes ready to go. I'm super excited to be picking garden vegetables already. Look at that. So we will pick, oh, that one's not big enough yet. Hopefully it didn't pull out too far. We will pick radishes and I don't know, there's another one. That one's not ready yet. Pick radishes and replant radishes because the radishes you can usually get, is that a radish? It is. You can usually get 2 or 3, I really need to weed this row, 2 or 3 plantings of radishes in a year. Whoops, that one wasn't big enough. But anyway, so I am super excited about the radishes. The cabbage is finally kind of looking better. Not kind of, it is looking a lot better. Broccoli looks great. Those little cabbages, I weeded them the other day and they're still kind of, I don't know, maybe they are broccoli. I don't know. But the broccoli here looks really good. I'm excited for broccoli. The spinach is growing huge. Today I'm going to pick some spinach. I'll show you guys. Why is that not? There we go. Sorry. I'll show you guys the spinach. And what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to dry some of it. The lettuce, I've got to weed this, obviously, but the lettuce is not getting very big yet. All right, now that my radishes are weeded, I see more that are big, ready to eat. Radishes are weeded and ready to plant more. And then the spinach, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to harvest just some of this spinach. And I'm just going to do it by hand. Just the bigger leaves. And then I'm going to do something with these that I've done in the past a little bit. To preserve spinach. Okay, so we have our spinach, and the first thing we need to do, obviously, is wash it, because this stuff is really dirty coming out of my garden. Between the rain and whatever. Oop, I got radishes still in there. So you're going to want to wash it really good. Lots of water, get all the dirt off of it. Whoa. Get really rambunctious, I guess. And then you're going to want to dry it. So I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and then I'll show you where I'm going to dry it at. Alright, so I'm going to take just a sieve. If you have a salad spinner, that works. I don't know what happened to mine. I had one at one time, but anyway, so I'm going to take my spinach into a colander and let it drain. Really good. Okay, so just laid out a towel, and it's not critical that it's like super dry. There's a very limp leaf. Anyway, but I'm going to lay it out here let it dry a little bit before I go on with the recipe for preserving spinach. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes. I'll probably pat it dry with another towel, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have never measured this and tried this measuring before, but we're going to do that today just so we can see how much this is going to make. So there's about 3 cups. There's about 3 cups, and we got, I don't know. So about 7 cups of spinach. So we're going to spread this out, and then we're going to put this in the oven. And I may do, because you want this to be somewhat flat and no overlap. Otherwise it takes longer. Okay, now we are going to put this in a 250-degree oven and just let it dry. You don't want to go high. I'm not trying to cook it, I'm just trying to dry it. So I have my last pan of spinach. You can see it's very crisp, crumbly. We're just going to crumble that in. One thing that I did notice, I couldn't remember last time I did this, if I took the stems off or not, and I must have because they weren't coming off. So if you'll notice, there's no stems left on these. I picked them all off, but they just don't dry very good, I guess. But we'll get this all crumbled up. Okay, so there's our bowl. So we went from 7 cups of spinach down to this small bowl. So we're going to see how much is in, how many tablespoons it'll take to equal 1 cup or 1 serving of spinach. Let me get a cup. Okay, so carefully. I'm a messy person, so that's more for me than for you. So 4 tablespoons is 1/4 of a cup, so it looks like we've got more than 8 tablespoons, so that's good. Almost a cup. All right. So about 1/2 cup of spinach from 7 cups of fresh spinach. So it is almost, so that would be 8 tablespoons instead of 7, or 1 table, so it's a little over 1 tablespoon per cup. So 1 tablespoon of this is equivalent to 1 serving of vegetable. Anyway, so it's good to know that, and how much it'll cook down into, or dry down into, I should say. And this is great, like I said, for putting in smoothies. just 1 tablespoon instead of trying to shove a whole cup of spinach in your smoothie, or soups or stews or pastas or whatever you want to use it for. But anyway, this is a great way to preserve the spinach and preserve the nutrients in the spinach, as compared to trying to keep it in your fridge. If you garden, you're never going to keep your spinach fresh all year long. So this is a great way to preserve it, especially when you have a lot of spinach or any excess of spinach. So I encourage you guys to try that and try it in a smoothie. It works really good, and it's not as potent as spinach is to some extent. And like I said, it doesn't add any water to it. So you can put a lot of other things that you may like as well. More fruits, more yogurt, or whatever you want to put in your smoothies. But anyway, I hope you enjoy.